Hello, my beautiful, fabulous movie freaks. So as you can tell from the title, this is going to be my favorite movies to watch to get me in the Halloween mood. There are a lot. I think there's about 35. And I'm going to do this in two parts. There's 35 on this list, and there's going to be more. I just couldn't narrow it down. I don't know, Halloween's my favorite time of year, as you can tell. So let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, so these aren't going to be in any particular order. They're not in alphabetical order. They're not in ranking. They're just ones that I went through and pulled them out of my collection. Also, I'm not adding movies that I haven't seen, of course, like what was one? Like Evil Dead. I haven't watched that one yet, so it'll just be movies that I've only seen. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm already out of breath. So one of my favorite movies that a lot of people don't talk about is My Soul to Take. This one is super fun. I love watching it. This is Wes Craven, I think. Yes, Wes Craven. This is a Wes Craven movie. And it's one of my favorites. Actually, my favorite is Scream, but this is, you know, up there. I really like the atmosphere of this movie. I like the story. It hasn't been done before, and I thought it was really cool. So I'm not just going to go bam, bam, bam movie. I'm going to talk about a little bit and say, you know, why I like them, why I feel like they are, they get me in the spirit. So My Soul to Take, it is super creepy and it gives me that feel of Halloween. Of course, you can't have a list of Halloween movies without Carrie. Carrie has just got that super eerie Halloween vibe. I mean, it's not during Halloween, but it's just perfect. It's just the perfect mix. Now, a lot of people aren't going to think that this is a Halloween movie, but it has witches, it has that creepy, like, Craft feeling, and I'm not comparing this in any way to The Craft, but I actually really enjoy this movie, and it is The Last Witch Hunter. I think it has a great feel to it, and if you guys have not watched this, I highly recommend that you do, because it is super fun and I love the whole atmosphere and the story about it. And Vin Diesel does a great job. He's usually not in those kind of movies, but next is, I mean, you've got to have this one on your list. It's The Final Girls. I love this movie. This movie is so fun. It's basically like a funny version of Friday the 13th. And I love, you know, everybody in this. Tessa Farmiga, she does great in this movie. It's got Adam Devine in it, and Nina Dobrev, who is from my favorite TV show, Degrassi. And this is just a super fun movie, and I have so much fun watching this every time I do. So next we have Return of the Living Dead. I watched this recently for the very first time. Absolutely love this movie. It is so great. I love the feeling of it. Even though it's cheesy, it's perfect for Halloween season. Okay, next. I just watched this the other day. We watched them back to back, and it's Jeepers Creepers. Now, Jeepers Creepers does give you that feeling of like fall, because it's so dark, and you know, they're taking, in the very first one, they're taking the scarecrow off for their cornfield, so it definitely gives you that kind of vibe. And I would recommend these two movies to anybody. The one that I will not recommend, that I absolutely hate, I despise it with a passion, is Jeepers Creepers 3, and I actually don't think that I put that on my list. If you guys didn't check out that list, it was movies or unpopular opinions. I mean, that's not really an unpopular opinion, because that movie sucked, but I know there's a lot of controversy about the director, but as long as the movie's good, I am going to support it 100%. Okay, now this one I don't hear anybody talk about. It is Idle Hand. It's typical 90s movie. It's got Jessica Alba, my favorite actress in the whole entire world. Devon Sawa. Basically, he gets possessed. His hand gets possessed by a demon, and this one has the best Halloween vibe because it is during Halloween. They have a Halloween party, and it is just so much fun. If you guys have not checked this one out, you totally should. It's got, you know, it's got Seth Green in it, and Offspring plays in it. That is a alternative band. My sister loved this band growing up, and I never liked it, but I have a new appreciation for it because of that movie. Now, next is the remake of House on Haunted Hill. I like watching this movie because it just has that eerie, creepy vibe, and the basement scene, I won't give it away, the very first part when they go down there, ugh, it just creeps me out, and I look for that in those type of movies. I like the story. I've never seen the original, so I can't put that on my list, but I do have it in one of my box sets. I think it's in that one up there, but I need to watch it. But yeah, House on Haunted Hill. Now this one, I never ever hear anybody talk about this movie. This movie has the best Halloween vibes, and I'm gonna say that about a lot of these. This has great Halloween vibes. So it's The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. Basically, he can see ghosts after the death of his wife, and the entity that he saw take his wife's life is back, and he has two friends that he kind of tries to con people with, saying that he can see ghosts and get rid of them so they'll pay him. But yeah, this is a great movie. I love the whole entire atmosphere. It's in kind of like a rainy setting, and it kind of feels like it's Maine or Connecticut or somewhere around there on the East Coast. But this one was directed by Peter Jackson, who did The Lord of the Rings, and it was also produced by Robert Zemeckis, who I always say his name wrong. Zemeckis? Is it Zemeckis? Zemeckis? Who directed Back to the Future, which explains why Michael J. Fox is in that, because he's an amazing actor. I couldn't picture anybody else in that character. It just fits him so well. Next one is Cursed, and this has Christina Ricci. She was one of my favorite actresses when I was growing up. This movie has werewolves, and pretty much the entire movie is at night. So it gives you that creepy, like, leaves falling vibe, and this is definitely a movie that you should check out. It's got Joshua Jackson and Shannon Elizabeth, and it's got what is his name? Oh, Jesse Einsberg. So, I mean, this is a great movie, and I totally recommend this one. And this is the unrated version. I haven't seen the non-unrated version. Now, these ones, you kind of have to put them together. A lot of people are going to disagree with what I say, but of course, this is my opinion. So, you've got to watch Fright Night and Fright Night. The remake, I really enjoy. Me and my husband both really enjoy the remake of Fright Night. But the original Fright Night, you can't go wrong with this one. It's got vampires and super creepy atmosphere, and it's got Chris Sarandon as is the head vampire, who was actually married to Susan Sarandon, and she kept her last name. Fun fact. Okay. So, next up, you can't have this list without one of the top horror icons. That's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, if you checked out my unpopular opinions, you'll know that I was not a big fan of the original. The remake was my jam, and I just love everything about this movie. I thought it was great, and just the whole atmosphere, the darkness, it was dark and dank, basically, and that's what you look for in Halloween movies. Next up, this movie gives me the creeps. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people think it's dumb and that it doesn't have any scare factor in it, but the Blair Witch Project scares me every time. Just them being out in the woods, not knowing what's out beyond the trees that they're actually looking at, and those sounds that you hear. Achoo! And bless you. Just knowing that they don't know what's going to happen to them is just a great vibe for me. And it looks like they're in the fall season just because of the dry leaves, but I'm not 100% sure about that one. But to me, that's what it feels like. Now this one is It Follows. Now a lot of people say they love this movie, and a lot of people say that they're on a fence about it. But I love this movie. It has that great fall vibes. You see the leaves, you know, blowing in the wind, and just everything about this movie. I want to say it's a perfect movie. I've never heard this story before, and I just think it has really no faults in it. I think it's a great movie. And this girl, what is her name? Micah Monroe, is that her name? I think it's Micah Monroe, but I'll put it right here if that's not right. So next, another one of our top icons. You cannot have a movie without, or you cannot have a Halloween list without Freddy Krueger. Now, Freddy Krueger is one of the top icons, along with, you know, all the other ones that we all know so well, like Jason and Ghostface and everything. But I have only seen a couple of these, and look at this. Isn't this cool? Ooh, creepy, creepy. Anyways, but you cannot have a list without this on it. And you'll see another one of these on here in just a minute. I recently watched this one and I was blown away. I've wanted to watch this one for a while. I need to watch the second one. It is on my computer as we speak, and I need to watch it. But it is the houses that October built, or Houses October built. Basically what this movie is about is this group of friends, and I think there's a brother and sister. They go out and try to find the best haunted house. So it's a found footage film, and they go around and try to find the best haunted house, and it ends up there's a incredible twist waiting for them at the end. And I am so excited to watch the second one because I recently just jumped in the hole for this movie, and I love it. It's up there with one of my favorites. So if growing up basically in the 90s, if you did not watch this, or if you did not read this book growing up, there's several of them, I don't know what you were doing. But Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, I totally recommend this one to watch during Halloween season. It has all those creepy aspects that you want in a movie, and it is during Halloween. So yeah, this one of course is by Guillermo del Toro, and he is just amazing. And this movie, even though it didn't reach my expectations, it was still good. Alright, save that one for last. Also, Freddy vs. Jason. You cannot have a list without Freddy vs. Jason. This movie is amazing. It is so much fun. A lot of people hate it. I love it. It is just great. I mean, Jason does pretty much all the killing, but Freddy is controlling him. So who do you think won? Freddy vs. Jason. Whose team are you on in Freddy vs. Jason? Leave your comment down below and let me know who you think won. Okay, this is a new one that I just watched, and I'm going to be doing my thoughts on this movie because I thought it was actually pretty good for a movie that's not well known, and it's called Trick. And this one has got Omar Epps, Elaine Adair, I don't know if I'm saying that right, and Jamie Kennedy. I like this movie. It wasn't like totally amazing, but it was fun. It has that Scream Michael Myers feel, and I think you guys will enjoy this one. And it does revolve around Halloween. Okay, another one. which is the famous Cherry Falls. If you guys not have seen this movie, what have you been doing? This movie is so much fun. Basically, there's a killer that's trying to kill off virgins, so they all try to have like a sex party so they can not be virgins anymore. And it's just a super fun movie, and it's got Brittany Murphy, who hopefully is resting in peace. But this is a super fun movie, and I totally recommend it. Okay, another icon right here, Friday the 13th. Now, I am not going to say that I've seen these all because I have not. I've only seen the very first one, and I have not seen any other ones except for Jason X, which I hate. I don't like it at all. But I am going to be ranking these one day in the future when I do start watching them as the same as The Nightmare on Elm Street. So you cannot have a list without Jason. Okay, next. One of my new recent favorites, Psycho. Psycho is iconic. It is probably one of the first slasher movies, if I'm correct. But this one, I cannot say how much I love this movie, and I can't believe that I waited so long to watch it. I love everything about this movie, except for the very beginning when it's a little bit slow, but it, you know, it builds up and you kind of need that to figure out what's going on. But yeah. Okay, so I'm putting these two together, and it's Annabelle and The Conjuring. Now, if you're gonna be watching horror movies, I suggest you watch these ones back to back, which will probably be like this. But The Conjuring and Annabelle, they go so well together. A lot of people don't like Annabelle. I like it, and I have heard on pretty much every channel that I have watched that Annabelle Creations is the better one of all of them. I disagree. I don't like Annabelle Creations. I prefer Annabelle, the original. I don't know why, but you know, that's just my opinion. So The Conjuring and Annabelle. Okay, let's see here. Next up is Poltergeist. Poltergeist is so creepy, and it gives me those Halloween vibes just for the fact that, you know, there's ghosts, there's, you know, when she goes into the TV, she's stuck in the TV. Everybody knows Poltergeist. So, I mean, I don't really have to say too much about this movie, but it is really sad what happened to the young girl in the movie. I always forget her name. JoBeth Williams. And I just think this one is super fun to watch during Halloween time. Okay, another horror icon. Chucky and Child's Play. You can't have a list without Chucky. Now, I have not watched this one for a long time. I'm more like The Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky. I like those ones. I don't know why people don't like them. They're cheesy, but they're fun, and I really like them. So, Chucky. Okay, I'm gonna save these ones for last. Another one that gives me that super creepy vibe, because everything is so... The movie is colorful, but you can't tell that it's colorful because it's dimmed down. There's no bloom in the movie. Now, if you take photographs like I do, you will know what bloom means. Basically, it makes it more vibrant and like the backlighting. But if you don't have that, it's kind of like a... How do I explain this? The coloring in the movie is... It kind of feels like when you're in the desert. You're in the desert and everything looks just so plain. Even though there's color around, everything looks so plain. And that's what this movie has. And I love Steve Zahn and Paul Walker and Lily Sobieski. She was one of my favorite actors in the 90s. Or actresses, I'm sorry. And Paul Walker, may he rest in peace. He is... I mean, he's a great actor. And in this movie, you can totally tell. Now, next we have Sleepy Hollow. And look at this cover. Isn't that amazing? That's one reason that I will never upgrade this movie. Sleepy Hollow. This one has also one of the best Halloween vibes, even though it's not in Halloween. But it's super creepy, haunted house feeling, and I just love this movie. This movie is great. And of course, Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci do amazing together, especially Johnny Depp. I love Johnny Depp. Okay, next we have Insidious. Also, I wanted to mention that this is going to be the adult list. I'm going to be doing a kids edition, which will probably be after this one. So anyways, Insidious. Insidious is a super fun, you know, supernatural thriller. You know, it has that, it kind of has the same monster as Annabelle. You know, the guy, he goes in the dream and, oh, excuse me. But it's a great movie to watch during Halloween. And it has that like whole haunted house vibe going on there. Now next one, I didn't put this on the kids list because it does have swear words. It does have some sexual parts in it, so I didn't add that. But The Craft. The Craft is one of my all-time favorite movies, and I have the Scream Factory edition where you can change the... And I pre-ordered this because I had to have it, and I got a cool poster. But I had to have it because Craft is one of my all-time favorite movies. And, you know, Fairuza Balk, she does great in this movie. Neve Campbell, of course, one of the Scream Queens. I mean, you can't go wrong with this movie ever. And you never get tired of watching it. Now, next I have up The Lost Boys. Lost Boys is probably one of the best vampire movies, in my opinion, apart from Interview with a Vampire. Interview with a Vampire is my favorite vampire movie. But The Lost Boys I just recently bought, and I love this movie, and it's great to watch during Halloween. Okay, next up. I'm going to put these two together because they're rivals, and they were always rivals growing up to me because I was on one side of the fence and my sister was on the other. So that's Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. So I Know What You Did Last Summer because I loved Jennifer Love Hewitt, and my sister liked Scream, but I eventually went more on the Scream side instead of the I Know What You Did Last Summer. And that's not saying that I don't love this movie, but Scream has just become one of my, it's my second favorite horror movie ever, apart from Halloween. So these two movies you have to watch during Halloween. You have to. Like, there's no option. You have to go watch them. Like right now. I'm serious. Okay, next, Urban Legends. Urban Legends has that super creepy vibe. It has that feeling of Halloween because it just feels like it to me. Like, the atmosphere feels like Halloween, but I don't think it is during that time. But I'm pretty sure everybody knows Urban Legends. And I really want the Scream Factory edition, but I ordered it once and it didn't have the slip, so I didn't want it. I want the slip. Okay, next we have another horror icon is It, and that comes with It and It the remake. You have to watch It, the original, It the remake, and It Part 2, Chapter 2, because these are just great movies. I mean, how can you go wrong with the crazy clown trying to kill a bunch of kids? I mean, it's just great. You got to watch it. I'm pretty sure everybody has, to be honest. Okay, now I'm putting these ones together because if you saw my pickups and also my unpopular opinions, you will know that I originally didn't like this movie, but I watched it again and I became a fan. So that's Strangers and Strangers Pray at Night. You have to watch these two together. Now, this one's more like a standalone, and I wouldn't consider it a sequel, but even though it does kind of pick up on the same, I want to say the same night or same time period, they don't really run hand in hand. So I think that's why I was so hard on this movie. But these two are both great. This is one of the best home invasion movies I've ever seen. I was literally scared. My heart was pumping, and I mean, this literally frightened me. So, gotta watch those. And now, if you are a Crypt Keeper fan, You have to watch Tales from the Crypt. I mean, if it's just one episode, let it be. But you have to watch this during Halloween time. I got this box set from Walmart and I absolutely love it. It's the Incomplete series, and you need to watch this during Halloween because he is the best host of any TV show you could ask for. I mean, he is just amazing, and I love every single intro to these shows. And I remember watching them late at night on HBO, and I think it was, gosh, what was the name of that channel? You know, where they had that pick up the phone, like that lady that had the commercial. Crap, what was that channel? Anyways, and I wasn't supposed to watch this, but I watched it anyways. But yeah, you've got to watch this during Halloween time. Okay, now these ones I'm going to be putting together as well because I think they are so much fun. And I don't really want to compare the two because they are both equally great. One probably a little bit better than the other, but they're both really good. So that's Haunt and Hellfest. Now these ones revolve around killings in a haunted house. So this one is more like down to the point. Several people are going to kill you if you're in this haunted house, and the haunted house is isolated. So I mean, that's that one. Something's in my throat. I showed this in my pickups. Isn't that cute? Beetlejuice. Anyways, Hellfest. Hellfest has one of the best atmospheres in any Halloween movie I have ever seen. Basically, the haunted house is a theme park, and everything is haunted. Like, they're so hyped up, and there's only one guy that is killing people, but this has the best atmosphere I have ever seen in any movie. Like, you cannot ask for anything more than what is in this movie in the atmosphere aspect. But totally recommend this one. Now, last but not least, drum rolls please. Now, you cannot have any Halloween watch list without Halloween. Halloween is the all-time #1, this is the only one I'm gonna rank, Halloween movie on the earth, on any planet in the world. This one is the most amazing Halloween movie, if you can't tell. Halloween. This is my favorite, my all-time favorite Halloween movie, and it might be my favorite. I don't know. I can't pick. I remember watching this the first time and I was like, oh, my new love. But yeah, that is my list. I can't even remember how many they were. That is my list for my Halloween movies to get you into the Halloween spirit. So like I said, I'm going to be doing a kids version. And oh, you know what? I forgot one. Hold the phone. You cannot have a list without Trick or Treat and Sam, the Trick or Treat goblin. He's not a goblin, but this guy, if you disobey any of the Halloween rules, like you don't like candy, you don't want to go trick or treating, you're dead. Okay, so make sure you follow the rules, or Sam is gonna get you. This movie. Oh, this movie. I am so glad I got this movie. I saw so many commercials for it, and I bit the bullet and got the steelbook. This is my very first steelbook, and I really enjoy this movie. And of course, it has Trick or Treat, so of course you have to have it on Halloween. The reason I didn't say it sooner because I had it right here because it's a steelbook. I didn't want to scratch it. But yeah, that is my list for my movies to watch to get in the Halloween spirit. If you guys like this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Also subscribe before you leave. I really appreciate it. If you guys have watched any of these movies, leave them down below. Let me know what you think. Also, give a like if you've seen any of these movies, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.